Oh
You've
yeah, so
worked in virtual reality,
yes, I
yeah,
have.
home care ops,
Mm.
softwares.
Yes, we developed virtual reality based rehabilitation. It's basically like an exercise prescription software, specially made for
But
yes.
even if physios earn decently,
Mhm.
they still feel financially stuck or insecure.
To to fight the insecurity is best to always learn.
Now, let's talk about the wealth creation part and investments and long term planning.
But the biggest gap is in their understanding of where and how to invest. So
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Priya Physio podcast. And I'm here with a guest, Tanish Shah from India, who is going to talk to us about the technological advances that he has been involved in and the finances that he's going to teach you today. Tanish, thanks a lot for being here and accepting my invite.
thank you so much. My pleasure. I'm honored to be here.
Thank you so much. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about your career, your journey. And with that said, what was the defining moment that made you realize physiotherapy could go beyond clinical and into innovation and entrepreneurship?
Fair. That's the first hard ball coming my way, it seems. But yeah, so I'll just like to introduce myself first. I'm Tanish, practicing physiotherapist in Mumbai since the past 5+ years. Have been more towards the business side and involved towards the technology front of physiotherapy. Clinical practice is very minimal, probably just 10% of my time daily is clinical practice. Remaining 90% goes on the business side as well as technology. What brought me to the non-clinical and the business side of physiotherapy is because in India, the pay for physiotherapists is quite low, especially because when I come from South Bombay, the living expenses are much high. So trading time for money is extremely difficult out here. If you just do that, probably the city won't help you sustain well out here. So with that and coming from a friend circle or a colleague circle which is more involved on the finances and on the technology front, that gave me a little boost to pivot my career from a clinical side to the business front as well. So yeah, that's how I've come this way.
Thank you. And I've also realized that you came into entrepreneurship quite early on in your career. And from my experience as a leadership coach, I have seen that physios don't go into private practice entrepreneurship to start with. What is the difference? Why did you go into entrepreneurship so early on? And what do you think is stopping other physios from doing that?
uh oh, so the second part of the question is very interesting. I'd like to answer that first. Why other physiotherapists are not able to do that. When I talk about physiotherapists, my knowledge, I'll just like to clear this, that my knowledge is limited to the Indian practicing physiotherapists. So probably your audience on the UK and the other Western countries would probably find it a little difficult to understand this. So physiotherapists in India, like right in college, and the amount of academics that they've concentrated on, rightfully, obviously, because the field demands it, have missed out on a lot of knowledge gain and a lot of experience on managing their finances and something towards entrepreneurship or the business mindset that needs to be imbibed. Coming from a family of who would be into finance and who would be into business and entrepreneurship, that gave me a little cutting edge there. That is one. Second thing is I started my own personal investing journey very early on, like probably when I was in my junior college, 12th grade, 11th grade. So right throughout the 5 years of my bachelor's, I had saved up enough money to take that leap of faith and take 6 months off from the clinical practice and take that jump and go towards something else. So probably I had that little edge. So I would like to answer it in such a way that in India, since the concentration on academics of physiotherapy is so high, where they miss out on the education and the overall holistic approach of upbringing a personality of a young student in terms of managing finances, understanding the Indian tax systems, and entrepreneurship and how business acumen is supposed to be built. Because eventually, all physiotherapists have to become entrepreneurs if they want to open their clinic side. So that is a large gap, and luckily, friend circle again, family. Come from, which I am very gracious about. So yeah, that helped me a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, when you spoke about the influences that you've been like you had since you were young, that is
Mhm.
very important, and I would like to talk a little bit on that. Your influences, they will create beliefs. That is your belief system. What you grow up seeing, you start believing in.
True.
And for somebody who's never been exposed to entrepreneurship, business, managing finances, they wouldn't know that. And I think there's a lesson here for everyone who's listening to us today. If you want to build that for your kids, for the younger generation, you've got to start doing something about it so people, your children see you doing. And
Yeah.
then they would be in a better position than you are. So if even if you're not there today, you can start now. But then building that belief system for younger generation and like your children, start today and show them what you do. Yeah.
True. Yeah, so like you just mentioned, I think so. I was grateful enough to receive that from my family, my parents, and the society that I have been brought up with. So this was very easy for us. But yeah, it is a little difficult for everyone. But I think so with the new day and age where information is so accessible to everyone just on their in their pocket all the time,
Mm-hmm.
this gap will be bridged in the next couple of years in India for sure.
Exactly, exactly. Thank you.
Yes.
And let's talk a little bit about your technological aspects of your job now.
Oh
You
yeah. So
worked in virtual reality,
yes, I
yeah,
have.
home care ops,
Mm,
softwares. So, what
yes.
mindset helped you move confidently across such diverse roles?
So I'll just tell you how the career pathway, the trajectory went. So
Mm-hmm.
initially, after my undergrad, after doing a couple of internships and small gigs here and there in private practices, shifted to a startup where we developed virtual reality based rehabilitation. So where we would make those VR headset glasses, like games for those VR
Mm-hmm.
headsets. And again, that was more related to the software itself. We would test that, make a couple of games in that, like a gamified version where patients could do their rehab wearing those glasses. This again, we did it back in 2021. So probably we were too early on to do that in India. Uh, Globally, there were a couple of players doing it from the UK and Australia, but relatively very new technology to adopt in India. As well as VR headsets were very expensive back then. I think so, they still are. So we started from VR. We worked on that for a couple of years. In fact, 1.5 years. We tried going to colleges, clinics, everywhere, and pushed the product. We did get a great response. Everyone wanted it in their clinic, but it was not budget friendly. It was not very pocket friendly. It was very expensive. It was a software recurring cost that we would take from them. Plus, they would have to purchase the entire hardware, which was very expensive. So we realized that in Indian physiotherapy clinics, institutions don't have that paying capacity or would not want to spend that extra buck on a technology which is not very tried and tested or not very evidence based. So we failed there a little. Then we shifted towards home care operations. So we started with providing physiotherapists with home visits where we would do like digital marketing. We would try converting the patients, meeting all the other specialities of other fraternities of medical practitioners like orthopedics, neurosurgeons, and everyone. Try getting their patient base and pass it on to a group of physiotherapists, and we would locally do that in Bombay. We scaled that also pretty much well, and then realized that that business model is again not very uh, long lasting because the customer acquisition cost was always very high for us. So we'd always do a lot of performance marketing and try getting the patient converted and then sending someone for home visit where we would be able to just make a small buck between as a commission between the patient and the physiotherapist. So we did that also pretty much for a long time, like for a year and a half. And I took an exit from there. Like I left that job and then shifted towards my own entrepreneurial journey where we started Physiqcian. It's basically like an exercise prescription software, specially made for Indian patient population. So it's basically a software where you can choose your exercises, custom build a prescription, and send it to your patients.
Mm-hmm.
So in India, like I'll just take a moment here and explain this, since I don't know how much you or your audience has practiced in India. So I'll just like to give you a little gist about how the practice works in India. So we in India don't have a a definite technology or a definite method of giving exercise prescription to our patients. So as a physiotherapist, every left, right, and center, our prescriptions are always exercises or movements, right? So they're always supposed to be in a video format. They cannot be in a written format. Like if you go to a general physician or an orthopedic, they could probably just write down a name of a medicine. But as a physiotherapist, we could not just write the name of the exercises because we never know if the patient would understand that or not. So we always had to provide them a video or a demonstration. And in India, they would have like passive pamphlets with static images of how to do exercises, or probably physiotherapist would go search for some Instagram reel or some YouTube link and then share it with their patients. Or even one more method widely used after understanding the entire market was physiotherapists would take the patient mobile phone, record a video of them performing the exercises in the clinic, and ask them to repeat that at home. I really didn't like that in my practice when I was practicing with my physiotherapist. And I used to use softwares which were abroad based. So then I thought, might as well make a software like that for exercise prescription for Indian population, where we could give out an exercise prescription in Hindi as a language, Gujarati as a language, Marathi as a language. So multiple regional languages of India are involved. So that's how I started my own entrepreneurial journey, and that's what I'm doing since the past couple of years now.
Thank you.
So from VR to home visit operations to coming to my own software, that's how the journey has entirely been.
Yes, and you summarized it and touched on what I was going to do. So thank you for summarizing it this way. I had I had that point in mind where I've noticed that you were constantly evolving. So you
Hmm.
went into entrepreneurship. That didn't mean that you were stuck doing one thing for years and not reviewing whether it's working or not. So if someone is going into entrepreneurship or private practice, this is what you've got to do. You've got to constantly assess yourself, seek feedback, evolve as appropriate, and if that is not working, let it go.
Move on to the next. Yes.
Exactly, and see what works for you. And I
True.
think that's exactly how it works for software developers and people who work in IT and AI. What is true today might not work tomorrow. And hence, that field is evolving a lot. And physios, if you want to evolve, you've got to try new things. Try it and move on to something that might work for your patients. It's all about keeping patients at the center of everything you do. So if it's not working for them, let it go. Ask them, see what works for them and your colleagues. That's exactly what you've done. Thank you so much, Tanish. Thanks a
Thank you.
lot for sharing. Yeah.
Definitely. I'd just like to add one more thing to what you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from evolving constantly, which is extremely necessary, there is one thing that you should always keep in mind is how to put your best foot forward.
Perfect.
Whatever you're doing like in terms of physiotherapy, if you're seeing a patient, you you need to put your best foot forward, even though you have seen. Let's take an example of a particular condition. Let's take OA knee. Okay, you've probably seen that patient for the last 10 years of your life, 20 years of your life,
Mm-hmm.
but still make sure that you are evolved. You put your best foot forward by learning the newest, latest technologies, latest practices, latest evidence, and every day try and evolve and put your best foot forward. I think so that's what has helped me be where I am. Probably not that successful yet, but where I have been, yeah, this is what my motto is basically, to always evolve daily, learn something new, put my best foot forward for the same repetitive things also that I keep doing.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. So now talking a little bit about your challenges when you were building Physiqcian. How did you develop resilience as a founder?
Oh, wow, that's a hard ball once again. uh, Building resilience. So I think so. Developing the software was pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't uh, It came very easy to me, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
But when I actually had to go to the market and actually sell to the physiotherapists in India, uh, I realized that adopting technology for everyone is not as easy as it was for me. I probably took that very easy, or I thought I took that very in a fashion where I took it very lightly.
Mm-hmm.
But I faced a lot of difficulty there in actually going and teaching or explaining what and why to adopt technology. So I faced a lot of rejection initially. I think so that's what helped me build the resilience. I was My goal is fixed that I want to help every physiotherapist in India evolve with technology, adopt something new, and give their best to their patients. So my goal was clear. So that resilience automatically happened after facing so much rejection initially, when I would go door to door selling the software, or when I would just cold call every physiotherapist who I had, or probably everyone from my college and other parts of India, and understand why they're not able to adopt technology. Faced a lot of rejection there initially, and that's what helped me build that resilience, I think so.
Thank you. So,
Uh,
facing rejections, it
yeah.
doesn't come naturally to anyone. And I think that is the number one blocker that people don't succeed because they think, what if I fail? What if I'm rejected?
Hmm.
They would make a mockery. It is somebody who's going to make a mockery of them. I don't know who they are, but people think a lot about others before trying something new for themselves.
Exactly. So that's in the head. It's If you see a crowd of 500 people, you think that they're going to look at you, they're going to judge you, they're going to talk about you. But it's not that case. Everyone's busy in their own life. They have their own problems to deal with. They have their own, things to celebrate. No one's very interested in what you are doing and how you're feeling and how much you're succeeding. It's okay. You have to build that muscle eventually.
Exactly.
Learn to let go what people would think. I think so. This generation, at least the upcoming generations, way past that. Everyone wants
Mm,
to live life as if they're living it only once.
mm.
That's good.
Yes. No, it is interesting when we talk about rejections and mindset. And that is my keen interest that I talk a lot about mindset. If you want to succeed, you don't have to work on your strategies as much. For example, job applications, interviews. Work here. If
Hmm.
you have it here, then you will make everything possible. If you're now not sound here, your mindset is not strong, you're not exercising regularly, you're not meditating, and you don't even understand the word meditation, then it is not going to come to you naturally. You've got to build yourself as a human being, as a leader first, and then you are ready to face anything that comes along.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
So I like the meditation word that you used.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you. So I've been asked this a couple of times before also, and I think so I've developed a good answer to this. So I'll just
Mm-hmm.
take a moment here and explain this.
Sure.
For meditation, what everyone in general thinks is breathing exercises, or just sitting down with a calm mind, trying to negate all the thoughts in the mind. And everyone has a different practice. I don't know what the entire definition is, but this is what people perceive as. If you ask 10 people what meditation is, they're going to tell you something related to breathing and something to make you calm. Whereas for me, my personal view of meditation is when you are not doing anything, the self talk that you have to yourself. It could be probably while having a shower, or it could be while driving, it could be while doing something that is on your, like you're brushing your teeth, probably. You have that one talk in your mind to yourself. If you have built that in a manner that will help you achieve whatever you want to, that is what meditation is. That self talk to yourself in the things that you're just not casually doing. That is what meditation is. Like if you constantly keep telling yourself negative things, but naturally negative things are going to happen to you. So it's that mindset shift, that building that memory muscle, something that is there, hardwiring yourself in your mind, that okay, when I'm talking to myself, I'll talk to myself in a particular language, in a particular tone, in a particular fashion, where I keep my head straight to what I want to achieve. That's what probably meditation is, because it's not always being it's not always about staying pavam, or it's not always about how you breathe and how much you breathe,
Mm-hmm.
how you breathe. It's about the talk to yourself when you're actually not busy doing something, but you're just casually doing something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. And that reminds me, I went to India in August, monsoon. I don't know how I planned everything, but I
Mhm.
visited three universities in Maharashtra where
Wow.
I had physiotherapy leadership talks. Okay,
Mhm.
and why leadership is important in physiotherapy. And leadership isn't a job title. And there I had a session on meditation, and I said, tell me, what is meditation to you all? And everyone said, This is how you sit, this is what you do, this is how your environment has to be. That's what you should focus on, that's what you shouldn't focus on, etc., etc. And I was thinking, all right. I asked other people who were listening to the definition of meditation, can you do this? They said, no, no way that we can do this. I said, that is your blocker. And because you think you have to do one, two, three, four steps to do meditation, you're never going to do it because you're never going to find that perfect space, that perfect time, that perfect mindset for you to sit and focus
Yeah,
on when you're so busy. What
true,
is
true.
meditation? Sit for 1 minute, do nothing, leave your phone away, just look at something in distance, like a tree, for that matter, nature. Just look
Mhm.
at that and see what thoughts come to your mind, acknowledge them. That can be a start of meditation. The
True,
state
right.
of meditation that we talk about, it takes years to build.
Yeah,
You've got
true,
to start by 1 minute. Take 1 minute out from your busy schedule. Start looking at something. That's it.
true.
So,
100%.
thank you. Thanks a lot for touching on that. And I've also realized that you've mentioned that you spoke to about 1,500 plus physios.
Mhm.
Okay. How did that liaising with different physios, seeking their feedback, helped you think about your product, your business, your service delivery in our profession?
So it's something that I never thought I would do.
Mm-hmm.
Something that came my way after building Physiqcian, the exercise prescription software. I would give demos to everyone one on one. Like it could either be going to their clinic or meeting them virtually over a
Mm-hmm.
call. But I would give demos to everyone, spend half an hour, 1 hour explaining how the software works, how to make the prescription, how to send it to your patients, and why to do it, and so on and so forth. So, like that, I virtually and in person would have met around 1,500 physiotherapists and would have spent at least on an average 35 to 40 minutes per physiotherapist.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I realized the pain points and the practices that it goes on in India and everything about the Indian physiotherapist's mindset, like how they practice, where they practice, why do they do a particular sort of a practice that is going on, and everything. Because I met a bunch of them from North India, South India, East, West, everywhere. Someone from a top tier college, someone from a bottom tier college, everyone. So that's how I understood the various methods and methodologies of ideologies of their mind and how they got it from their academics or their educational institutes or probably where they have done their initial jobs. So that brought two major findings for me after taking interviews with, like, giving a demo to 100 and, well, like 1,500 people.
Mm-hmm.
One is that their knowledge in physiotherapy is top tier, but their delivery is not as much as they want to give, because again, people have different various issues and ideologies there. So their knowledge is great, but their method of the practices are not good. And second, I stumble upon something very different is their financial problems that every physiotherapist in India faces. Because I would speak to them and I would actually tell them to go and buy it because they would give me a great feedback. Oh, Physiqcian is great. I love this. I want to always find a product like this that I could, save my time, give prescriptions in a very professional manner and everything. But when it came to paying, they didn't have the paying capacity, and a lot of them, probably at least 60% of the 1,500 people that I'm talking about, were like, "Oh, it's a little expensive for us. I'm not able to spend so much. Might not be able to shell out so much, on a monthly basis and everything." And trust me when I say, Physician is extremely nominally priced in India, and that's what gave me a revelation that, okay, the major issue for physiotherapists is their money. They are not able to make that money because they're not able to spend that money on upskilling them or using the best products or the best technologies or the best machines in their clinic, possibly. And then I brought that down, I circled back, and again, going to my financial background that I have a little from my family, I understood that that's their struggle point. And there I thought I'll help every physiotherapist in India to at least have some sort of security financially. So that was the major shift from Physiqcian also, that I found out that, okay, if I help them financially, it'll automatically help them grow in their practices and automatically they'll be able to adopt technology. So I thought I'm catering to a problem from top to down, but then eventually realized that I have to go from bottom to up.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, it's interesting that we've moved swiftly from technology into finances now.
Yes.
And you've already mentioned why physios were not ready to spend and not ready to upskill because they didn't realize, and that again comes with business mindset. For
True.
your upskilling, you've got to
Hmm.
invest. I'll
Invest.
take a very basic example that everyone would understand. You
Hmm.
want to open a shop,
Hmm.
a clothing shop, right? You've got to find a shop, a place, a physical space for your shop. You've
Yes.
got to buy some inventory. You've
Hmm.
got to look at the electrical fittings and how the shop looks like, the decor and everything. Okay?
Yes.
You've got to find at least one employee to help you
Hmm.
to run the shop.
100%.
You've got to find a payment system, digital. How are you going to manage everything? CCTV cameras, all of that.
Yes.
Basic. Okay? Everyone would understand what I'm saying.
True.
However, if you don't invest in that, will you have a shop in the first place?
Not possible.
Okay, this is for a physical shop that I'm talking about. So
Not possible.
think about it when physios think, oh, I cannot invest so much on something that they can't see because they've
Hmm.
not seen yet how that software will help them ups, upskill themselves and build their practice. Okay, there are two things people have. One is time, one is money.
Hmm.
If you don't have money, be ready to give your time.
Time.
But if you're
True.
struggling with time, shell this out.
True. Very
Get
true.
that money out so that you get more time to focus on what matters to you and your colleagues and your patients. And that is exactly the mindset that I'm sure you've struggled with. Yeah.
100%. Very true.
And
This
you
goes
cannot
for a lot
sit and
of
teach
physiotherapists.
everyone. Exactly.
Yeah. 100%. This goes for a lot of physiotherapists in India because when it even goes to hiring, like as a clinic owner, for example, they would hire when the need of the hour is extremely high, but not see that if you hire first, you will be able to scale better.
Exactly.
They will make sure that they are seeing 50 patients a day, but not hire one person and shell out that salary.
Mm-hmm.
There's a very basic problem that every physiotherapist faces in hiring, in spending that money to upskill themselves and spending that money to have a good quality physiotherapist in their clinic or a better quality equipment in their clinic.
Mm-hmm.
They would feel like spending less on a average quality product or an equipment in their clinic and use it again and again till the time it's completely worn and torn off, but not see to it that they buy a good product and help them live a healthy clinic for a longer duration. So yeah, this is the typical Indian saving mentality. Like let's save money, and they don't look at scalability. But I think so that's shifting a lot now because when the younger physiotherapists like me are opening their clinics, a lot of my friends and colleagues who open their clinics, their motto is very clear. You want to give good quality care, a holistic approach to everyone, and that's how scalability for their personal clinics or their personal ventures definitely come.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
similarly, for Physiqcian also, I just want to bring this one point out. Initially, with the softwares and everything that we used to use, even I was very frugal. I don't want to spend a lot. I don't know how many physiotherapists will actually come and purchase our software and everything. So I was like, let's be very frugal. In being frugal, I spent so much time, energy, and effort on building a software which was below average, or probably a website which is going to lag like 90% of the times and nothing will load, even though you have a good quality Wi-Fi with you and things like that. Then realized if I give them a world-class product, build the best thing out, if not, what will happen? I'll lose some money and time and energy that I've spent for developing something like this. But if it actually succeeds, everyone's going to applaud the fact that it is a good quality product made out of India by a physiotherapist for the physiotherapists in India. So that's how I realized. I had that revelation probably 6 months in. Ki let's just give the best quality product so that people have that factor of boasting amongst their peer groups as physiotherapists. Ki, oh, I am using Physiqcian. It's superb. It's good. It has to be a point of show off for them. Ki, oh, I'm using the best technology for my clinic. I don't know what's stopping you. And trust me, after seeing that, after making a good quality product for everyone, it probably is as good as the world class products that are available across the globe. That's when we realized that okay, the referrals, the word of mouth publicity is so strong for us rather than doing everything else and spending money on ads and influencer marketing and everything. That all works very little rather than the word of mouth that has actually picked up for us after delivering a great product to everyone.
Exactly. Yes.
So
And
yeah,
yeah.
and
So, if someone wants to see what is Physiqcian,
mm,
now, yes, I know you're talking about the Indian market, but if someone outside of India
mm.
wants to use that, can they use it? Is it available outside?
Uh, yeah, so it is available for everyone abroad. It's as simple as a website or a mobile phone application that they can download or they can skim through, surf through on the web. They can sign up, log in, everything as an international user. They can make an international payment and purchase the software as well for their practices.
Okay.
It
So
is
the
available.
link, is there a link for that, Tanish, that you can share
Uh,
with us so I can put it in the description?
for sure. It's called physiqcian.com. So www.physiqcian.com.
Mhm.
Physiqcian, physiqcian.com. So anyone can come, anyone can use across the globe. And the best part is we have two international. I feel let's take three international languages that we have. One is English, obviously, which is widely used across the globe. We have French also as a language, so you can give a prescription to your patients who are French speaking, and we have Persian as a language as well.
Okay,
So we have three
perfect.
international languages. Apart from that, every language is regional to India.
Thank you. So for all the viewers who are interested to see what is Physiqcian, there will be a link in description. Click on that and explore. Even if you don't want it, maybe somebody else you know might want it. So just be genuinely curious to see what a physiotherapist has developed in technology. It's like a moment to applaud for the physiotherapy profession, that one of us is developing something and going out of his way to produce something to help physios. Okay, so let's just support Tanish and see what he's done. And Tanish, is it possible that if there are other people and there are other language requirements, can that be adapted as well?
Yeah. So the turnaround time for us to develop a language is very quick. We probably take 15 days to bring about a new language, but
Mhm.
it comes at an extreme high cost for us. So probably if the demand is extremely high for, let's take Mandarin as a language, if probably 50, 100 physiotherapists come and ask and demand that, the turnaround time is just 15 days. But yeah, once
Perfect.
we have a good amount of volume from a particular region of the globe, then we can definitely bring about a new language for sure.
Perfect. Thank you so much. That's amazing. 15 days, not more. Okay. And I'm sure 15 days goes like this if you're
Yeah,
working on your passion.
true.
Thank you so much. So let's move on to the finances and the insecurities. You've already talked a lot about that, and we've spoken about the time and money and everything. But
Yes.
even if physios earn decently, they still feel financially stuck or insecure. And how would somebody battle that mentality and mindset? Can you give them three quick tips?
Uh, so to to fight the insecurity is best to always learn and evolve. If that is there, if you have that confidence in you, that insecurity naturally just negates away. That is point number one. Second would be to manage their finances, their personal finances. So if probably they're running a clinic or doing home visits across a particular region in where they're residing, or any anyone working at a hospital, on salary or everything, if they manage the finances, invest well, and take care as much as of they are taking care of their finances as much as they're taking care of their patients,
Mhm.
it will help them much better financially. And that hassle of being hand to mouth every month will go away eventually. And that is the second thing. And the third thing is just understanding and securing your future first, financially. Obviously, this is, I sometimes I am extremely materialistic as a human being. So I do talk a lot about money and how to save and how to earn more and how to get that additional 2% rate of return as well. So yeah, investing really helps, because when you want to take a career path that is a little offbeat, like let's take an example of me only. I had to sit at home without a single penny coming over for a couple of months. When in the duration when I was building Physiqcian, I had to sit at home, just develop it. In fact, spend money, not earn at all. I had to take that hit financially for 6 months, but that I could do it because I have been investing since my junior college. So that was a little easy. So similarly, like if a physiotherapist wants to buy a new equipment which is a little out of budget for them, start planning financially for it, and you will be able to achieve it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's how I would, like, a lot of debt instruments also available in India that a lot of physiotherapists don't know, because again, we've always been into the academics of learning exercise physiology and anatomy and biomechanics and everything, and in that holistic personality to be developed as an Indian young, as the Indian young physiotherapist, is we lost a lot of time in understanding how the system, financial system and the taxation system works in India, and how to secure your future financially. That would help you build a better clinic or build better services for your patients.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. So, 3 points for everyone, just to summarize: learn and evolve, number 1 point.
Hmm,
Number two is start managing your finances.
true.
Start seeing where money is coming from, how much, and where it's going. Once you realize, you will understand how to cut down on something that is not important for your vision.
True.
Yeah. And finally, number three, financial security point.
Yes.
Yeah. And finance, I would say more than financial security, it is your mindset and the investing and the other side of managing finances, not just what comes in goes out. How do you invest for your future so you can take the hit where you're working on your passion, and this is what is called as financial independence. Yeah.
Yeah. True.
Work when you want to, not because you have to, if you get that point. Okay, thank you so much, Tanish, for that. And swiftly moving on again, financial we've talked about wealth, money, mindset, habits. Okay. Now let's talk about the wealth creation part and investments and long term planning, because it's easy said than done. What you said in 3 points here is there's a lot to that. It's not as easy as do these 3 points, you'll be fine.
Hmm.
How to do it is the next point. Okay. So, how can physios practically start investing if they have little knowledge or feel intimidated by the word financial world?
Hmm. So, like I mentioned earlier, after speaking to 1,500 physiotherapists pan India, and seeing a gap in how we can help all the physiotherapists build better wealth and earn more and give them some sort of financial stability and security. I myself am a registered mutual fund distributor in India, because again, this is my family business that I have been taking over since almost 8 years. So we help a lot of physiotherapists build wealth, make more returns, and everything. We take end-to-end care, right from their insurances, their term plans, to investing in what sort of mutual funds, equity-based, debt-based, theme-based, and things like that. So yeah, if anyone ever wants any help in India as a physiotherapist in building wealth, in managing their finances, and how to go about it, they can definitely reach out to me. I have a team of four people. All I am the only physiotherapist. Rest all of them are from the finance world. So all four of us are always ready to help anyone and everyone who wants to build that security financially in their life.
Thank you. And is there a link that they can follow about the
Uh,
finances, or is it your contact number or your LinkedIn? How
yeah,
would they get in touch with you?
it's my personal credentials. Probably if they just WhatsApp me or connect with to me via LinkedIn or any other platform, I would be more than happy to help anyone.
Okay, so I will put a link for Tanish's LinkedIn profile in the description below. Click on that, and again, be genuinely curious. How
Yes.
many physios have you come across who has this much knowledge about wealth creation, investment, multiple income streams? What can you do? Okay, it is very important.
I am registered, so I had to go through a couple of rounds of exams and clear those license exams for finances as well. So yes, but I'll just brief you a little. Like if all your users want to get a rough idea about what we do, we help them find the best mutual funds for their investments, because again, physiotherapists have a very erratic uh, lifestyle in terms of their earnings. So mutual funds is one of the best instruments for them to invest in. We manage a total AUM, that's the total accumulation of the wealth that we manage for physiotherapists only. I'm not talking about my other clients. Just everyone who's a physiotherapist is approximately 30 crores. So we help navigate 30 crore rupees in total of physiotherapists in India. So their mutual fund portfolios are with us, their term plans, their health insurance, like I mentioned earlier. is what we help them with.
Mhm. Tanish has his certifications and what is required for him to provide you financial advice.
Yes.
Okay, not just any other influencer, but he
Mm.
has actually done his due diligence and research, so he knows what he's doing. And I'm sure in India there is quite strict guidelines now for
That's very
anyone who is providing financial advice on internet. So
true.
you can trust Tanish, you can look at his credential, get in touch with him, and make your due diligence before you trust in anyone.
True.
Okay, be it anyone that you're taking advice from, make sure they are qualified enough and registered to give you that advice,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to your finances.
100%. Very true. This is a great point too that you brought up.
Thank you. And what is one biggest misconceptions physios have about mutual funds, insurance, or wealth creation? One misconception.
They don't have a misconception for a particular product like mutual funds or insurance, but the biggest gap is in their understanding of where and how to invest. So that lag in knowledge is much higher than having a misconception, because again, a misconception comes when you have the level 1 of the knowledge or understanding of what the product is, right? But the problem out here is level 0, where what is investing and how to invest and how to build wealth is a problem here. So the misconceptions are much later that come up. But yeah, definitely of the clients and the physiotherapists who are with us in their investment journey with us, the misconceptions that they have is regarding the amount of rate of return or the amount that they'll be able to generate and build as a wealth over a span of time. That is there because physiotherapists are accustomed to exchange of money via their hands on a daily basis. Like probably you have a patient, they come and pay you immediately. For a home visit, you are paid immediately. So that instant gratification has become their muscle. Whereas something in investments is never short term, is always long term. So if probably you're putting in say 1 lakh rupees today, you're not going to make 1 lakh or 2 lakh rupees in a couple of months. It's actually going to take you a couple of years. So that instant gratification is probably their misconception. But again, it is for the people who already started their investment journey and understand what finance is. But out here, the biggest gap is the knowledge that needs to bring them to what investing is.
Exactly. And while you were saying, something came to my mind, and the smile, a natural smile. Uh, I think the misconception comes from our um, influences, which is movies.
Yes, true.
We've seen investment movies and the financial broker movies in
Mm,
all or everywhere in the world. And
yes.
because you see somebody gets broke because they've invested erratically, and
Mm.
that's how, that's somebody's perception. I'm never going to do this because I don't want to lose what I have. Second part is where you said it's about the long-term investment. So you invest and you forget about it. That's how it has to be if you are looking for that long-term wealth creation.
What we are doing is something that is extremely safe, extremely low chances of your investment going in negative or in vain, with the upside being extremely massive. So like how I don't know who coined this, but I think it was Albert Einstein who coined this, that compounding is the eighth wonder of the world. Mm, for you to understand the effects of compounding, I think so every physiotherapist should make sure that they do their investment somewhere. I'm not saying they have to come to us and do it via us only, but the goal is that every physiotherapist should be secure, and if I can be a medium to help anyone, that would be, I would be more than happy to do that. So to understand what compounding is, you need to understand the time frame, the duration, the long termness that you have to be invested in via mutual funds to make extreme amount of wealth that I would probably say no clinic would ever make you in the first couple of years.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's a great tool. I don't know about how many users of yours are actually Indian based, but I just like to take one more moment and explain this one concept about inflation and regarding the Indian economy. The two things. First is, if someone is in India right now as a practicing physiotherapist and not investing in India as a country. So if you want to invest in the country and the country, you want to take a bet on India is going to grow, where do you invest the money? The bet happens via the stock market. So you have to invest the money in the stock market, in the indexes that are of the top 50 companies of India, Nifty 50 or Sensex 30. you invest there, that's when you're taking the bet on India to be a successful country. So if you're an Indian physiotherapist and feel that India's it's the next decade is for India and India to grow, if you're not investing in it, that itself is a wrong thing. So would urge everyone to come and invest somehow. It could be via mutual funds or it could be directly into equity also. So you invest in India first. And second thing about inflation. So every physiotherapist who right now is making money and not investing but actually just saving it in probably in hard cash or in their savings account, they are actually breaking their money every year because in India the inflation rate is approximately 6 to 7%. It could change vary here and there, but 6 to 7% is roughly that we are seeing. So every year, for example, 100 rupees in your bank account is becoming actually 94 rupees by next year if you are not investing it. So this concept for a physiotherapist to understand, since we come from a different academic background, is extremely difficult. But once they understand this, it's the life changing decision that they will take is okay, I probably can see two patients less, but need to focus a little on my investment and my personal finances.
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you.
Welcome.
Okay. And you've just given physios a simple advice about how to build a sustainable financial plan. Okay.
Hmm.
And again, you've said very clearly you get in touch with me or you don't get in touch with me. That's completely fine, but you should understand these basics.
Yeah, if someone
However,
just wants to understand it, also please ping me. I can probably talk for hours and hours and hours for on finance. I would be more than happy to help.
perfect. Perfect. Thank you. Any red flags that physios should watch out for?
um, Red flags, like, can you
Red flags in making financial decisions or trying to invest somewhere. What red flags should anyone who is a novice should be aware of?
uh, can't think of anything on the top of my head, but I think so. Okay, I just over the top. I was recently going through LinkedIn and I saw one doctor's LinkedIn post, probably not a physiotherapist, but some other fraternity, and how a lot of people reach out to medical practitioners for multi-level marketing gigs. So that is one red flag, I think so, in India, probably multi-level marketing or push this product, push this medicine, push this physiotherapy equipment for us. And those things are little, like, I have my skepticism there. So probably that's a big red flag. So, and I see a lot of physiotherapists being affiliated with those companies. I would not like to name any, but I see a lot of physiotherapists trying to push those products in multi-level marketing, which I think so is a little skeptical.
Mhm. Okay, thank you.
That's flag.
Yeah, I think red flag wise, you've already touched on that, where it's important for everyone to make their due diligence about the person that they're relying on for that financial advice.
100%,
Are they
definitely.
registered? Are they certified to give out the advice that you are seeking?
Exactly, exactly.
If not, take a step back and just say thank you for sharing and
Yes,
go to somebody who knows what they're talking about.
100%. And also, I would like to add one point to this. Do not do it by yourself. I'll tell you why. Because in as a physiotherapist, le- broadly, just talking about all the physiotherapists, our knowledge is very limited in finance. We should not build that muscle also. Our priority should be treating patients, giving the best treatments. So as a physiotherapist, always you're seeking help from someone for to manage your finance, who are certified, who are registered, and managing all the compliances that the Indian government requires. Get it done via someone for sure. Don't do it on your own, because these days it's become very easy to do it by yourself. And I know a lot of physiotherapists who've lost their money. I'm so sorry, who have lost their money in doing so. So always go via someone who's registered, and do not to do it by yourself. Like, some people feel that okay, I've seen a couple of YouTube videos, understood what financing is, and I can invest myself, or probably I have got some advice from Tanish also to do it, so I will go on my own and do it. Do
Mm,
not do it on your own. In the long term, it's going to hurt your finances. So it's always better to do it via someone.
yes, thank you. And I think that is very important point that you mentioned here because this is slightly different. It is your hard-earned money that you're investing in something. If you
Mhm.
want to get successful somewhere, surrender to one mentor.
Wow, yeah.
Surrender to your mentor completely. There are so many people out there that it is easy for you to get lost. You even look at the scrolling that happens. Instagram, you start watching one video, and because you spend time on that, Instagram algorithm works in a way that it gives you more and more and more of such videos. And you think, wow, in 2 hours, I'm an expert now. I don't need you. I'm going to apply for this job. I'm going to prepare for this interview and I'm going to see what happens. And then they get stuck in that loop
Very
of
true.
not getting successful. And then you kind of start thinking, why is it not working for me? I've done so much of research, I've done so much, I've followed these many people who've already been successful. It has worked for them.
True.
Not necessary that everything that you've learned will fit for you. You've got to surrender to one person who knows you, who knows your background, and then they will advise based on what you have shared.
100%. Very, very, very true. I don't think so. Whoever we think who are successful, who are always there in the media for the good things,
Hmm.
have ever done it without a mentor.
Exactly. Exactly. And experts charge expert fees. So if you think something's expensive, maybe it's a good point that you should trust them because they have that credibility and value that they're going to add to you. Okay, so to all the people who are watching us, listening to us today, please
Hmm.
remember that experts charge expert fees,
True.
and experts will attract their own tribe who believe in that expertise.
Yes, your network is your net
Net
worth.
worth, exactly. Thank you. Now, finally,
Mhm.
trying to wrap up the podcast,
Mhm.
let's talk a little bit about leadership, identity, and future of physiotherapy
Hmm.
from our own experience. What identity shift must physios make to see themselves as leaders, not just clinicians, but businesses, brands, and wealth builders?
Okay. Mm. In India specifically, they need to get a little entrepreneurial mindset. They
Mhm.
need to be prepared for um, that hard path, the difficult path. It's not going to come easy. So taking that leap of faith, taking that extra additional risk is always going to help physiotherapists in India to build an identity, build a brand, or build a successful clinic.
Perfect.
Yes. I see a lot of physiotherapists who've taken a lot of risk. It probably could be a monetary risk, or it could be putting their career at stake, or it could be putting their family at stake, being away from somewhere and build a good, successful clinic or a startup in some other city. So yeah, risk is not always money. Risk is it's always something regarding your time, your energy, your relations around you, your family, and everything.
Mhm. Thank you. And that takes me back to the conference that I had been for the last couple of days. It is one of the biggest physio conferences in the UK. It was organized by the Chartered Society of Physiotherapy and it's called the annual Physiotherapy Conference. And there I met somebody who had different views about what we've spoken today. And we've realized for you to become an entrepreneur, a physiotherapy entrepreneur, you've
Mhm.
got to leave something behind to chase something that you want.
Yeah,
It could cost you your friends, it could cost you your family time in the initial phases because if you want to pursue your passion, it doesn't come easily. It's not like a 9 to 5 job. If you starting entrepreneur journey, you've got to realize that 24 hours a day your mind is going to be thinking about that.
true,
If you're ready to take that challenge, if you're ready to invest that much time, and if you're ready as you know your body is ready to invest that much of time in something, then go for entrepreneurship. Otherwise, everybody has their own journey. If you're happy where you are, doesn't matter. As long as you're happy as a human being, you're enjoying your life, that's it. But
true.
if you want to pursue dreams, it comes with a cost. Not
Cost.
always monetary, sometimes emotional as well.
True, very true.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Tanish, for being with us and sharing your knowledge. Very important podcast, I think. One of the first of its kind that a physiotherapist has spoken so much about his entrepreneurship journey and finances. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.